Hi there, and welcome to week 2 of the Show Me the Money review. Obviously, Craig will be high as a kite. I feel like shite, but better than some of the teams that are still in the league. But how's it going, Craig?
Yeah, very well, Johnny. Very well, as you alluded to. Very happy after a second win. Two in a row now, and 2-0, and sitting quite happy.
Yeah. So obviously, I've not had a chance to do the normal thing I do because I was at my daughter's instrumental in hunting the Northern Lights. But I've got the NFL page up, so we'll get that going. Hopefully, I've made the page a bit
Yeah,
bigger,
let's
so
have a
hopefully
wee
people
look
can
at that.
see it. So we'll start off with probably one of the closer games of the week, if not the closest game. It was
Yes.
showing the money
So,
88 to 90 points for the
so
Sean.
yeah, I mean this was obviously the other game in the north, in my division, Factory of Sadness, defending champions, just out pipping our Douglas and Baxter We Trust, and you know, you could maybe put it down to Douglas. I mean, he lost two in the fourth quarter, really, didn't he? The damage was already done there with Tua. So Jacobs fumbling on the way into the end zone. That was a costly one for him as well. That must have hurt a little bit. And when you lose by 2 points,
Yeah.
these things matter, don't they? These bits and bobs matter. But yeah, a close game, and Doug scored 8 points. It's not a bad score or anything like that, but he's lost two. I now don't know for how long. He's AJ Brown's doubtful for this week again as well. So that's without
Yeah.
AJ Brown as well. So it's not. He's in a good place, I would say, Doug. To be honest, the team's fine. It's scoring points. It's just he's got to replace Tua and hope that Brown gets back. And
Well, he's got
that's
Cousins at least. So.
Sean's got his defending, his defence off to a start at like now, 1-1, 90 points. Trevor Lawrence, what about Trevor Lawrence, Johnny? What are you thinking there? Is it time to give up on him?
Uh, I don't know. Cleveland's always a hard defence. You know what I mean? And even though it's one of the harder
I
defences to
mean,
come up against. I can't remember who they played in week 1, but I give them maybe another week or two. But what I know, I lost as well this week. But obviously, Jamar Chase hopefully get better this week. T. Higgins might be back, which
yeah,
will help Chase as well. And then Rashid Shaheed, good putting him in for 16 points. Demarcus Robinson, he's basically now the number one, but maybe T2 Atwell might be number one, but Texas defense. The Joku might be, I don't know if the Joku's back or not. I'm not sure I really want to trust Tucker Craft, but
yeah. I mean, he's
the bench is a bit
questionable, isn't he?
scary.
It's.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I mean, Sean's put together a really good team already. From drafting last as well. It's a good lineup. I'd just be worried that Lawrence at quarterback. But yeah, as you say, the rest of it, Chase can, obviously, but Chase was never going to start well. It's that this season when you
No,
sit
he's
out
had no
the season,
practice.
you're
Yeah.
not going to. So
Well, it's a
yeah, better
shame
things
that,
to come from Chase for sure. So yeah, I mean, Sean must be sitting quite happy right now. I would be if I was him. It's he's got the win on the board, 90 points, and players that are going to score a lot more points. And he's avoided a lot of injury carnage. I know he's got Njoku down there, but
yeah, but his main ones are in.
he'll be back soon enough. He's not IR or anything.
No.
So yeah, good win for
That is the
Sean and
team.
unlucky Dougie.
And on to
One and
yourself.
one though, so
So nearly
he's still
double their
got a chance.
points. You nearly double
Well,
Grote's
here we go.
score.
Yes. Well, here's the thing, Johnny. Forgive me for a second, but that's me now going 8 games in a row against my Show Me the Money North divisional rivals. 8 games in a row. I've won 13 out of 14. So, kind of own them now, don't I? So it's about time that they sat on the mantelpiece. So I have wee representations for each of them. So I have little Carson Wentz here. who's going to be representing Doug, because, you know, gins for gins and all that. I have a little Le'Veon Bell here, who's going to be representing Grote, because he's in his Jets uniform. And he was as good for the Jets as Grote is at fantasy football. And then I've got a little Jim Kelly here to represent Sean, because, you know, he's been in 4 Super Bowls too. And they're all going straight onto my mantelpiece, and they're going to sit there until one of them grows balls and beats me. So, Doug, you're next up, pal. You're the last chance of the 3 you sit on my mantelpiece for 8 long weeks at least. Just saying it now. And yeah, couldn't be happier with the win, Johnny. I've got to say, you know, I've avoided injury carnage as well in the main, you know.
Oh, big style, yeah. Not
107
even your
points.
bench. Oh, we got, yeah.
Lloyd's went on IR, so that's a wee bit of a problem. But I've got Mooney down there, and which I'm quite happy with, you know. And obviously Charbonnier, as long as Walker's out, is a very playable back. But you know, there's no way I'm taking out Taylor, A-Chain, or Stevenson. So the backs are kind of locked up there, and hopefully Ridley can continue to play like that. You know, it's one bad week, one good week. So you know, who knows? And that is Will Levis at quarterback, but
well, you'll be wanting a bad week next week when they play the Jets. They're playing you this week.
Well,
so you're wanting a bad week. So.
They're playing the Packers this week, yeah. But I'll take another 20 points from Ridley in a Packers win. That'll do me nicely, you know. So yeah, over the moon. There's the only problem I'm seeing is Jared Goff at quarterback is not doing the things that I thought he would be doing. But it's early days, you know, so I'm not losing faith in him just yet. As for Grote, you know, I mean, Tank Bigsby's 0 points. You know, Hopkins has got his 0.9. Fryermuth not done anything for him. Pittman's, I'd be really worried sitting with Pittman as well, you know, and it's just Richardson's accuracy through the air. He's going to have to get a whole lot better. You know, regardless of how many targets Pittman's getting, if they're not on target, then he's not going to be catching them. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be giving up all hope for Grote, you know. I mean, Addison will be back soon enough. Walker will be back soon enough.
Yeah, well, I
Just
think
one of those
Addison's
weeks
hoping
for
to be
him, you
back
know.
this week. So.
It's on too, but I know he's panicking, but I don't think it's time to panic just yet. You know, Mattison does, you know, every time Samir White gets the ball, he doesn't seem to do anything with it. Mattison seems to be the better back there, so he'll get some production out of him as the season goes on, I'm sure.
Well, he got 1 rushing yard, 1 touchdown. So, yeah.
Yeah,
not bad.
You know,
but if he's getting the goal line,
it's the touchdown, though, isn't it? He got the goal line work, so you know, if he's going to be scoring touchdowns, that's easy. 2 weeks, 2 touchdowns, you know. So I think he will get production out of him. He's got Walker to come back, Addison. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be worried. I wouldn't be panicking if I was Grote just yet. You know, 0-2 is nothing, and you know, the grand scheme of things, you get on it a wee run of wins, and you're fine. You know, so it's no panic for Grote just yet.
Give him another. If he loses again, Mike, you know what Grote's like. There'll be a fire sale for what he's got, if he's got any more. So we've got the Purple Raiders 109 points against our pre-season favourites, Hide and Seek 83-64.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit. You've got. It's the curse of the early. It's the curse of the early picks, Johnny. I don't think anyone's, you know, sold out one year and went on to win it the next year. I don't think it's ever happened. It's just so difficult because you get all of those early picks and you start to overthink it. You know, I know I did myself last year, you know, and you overthink it and you don't, and you end up kind of reaching, and you end up picking up guys who you'd have got later on anyway, you know. So, and this is the kind of, not trap, but this is, you know, kind of Graham's fell into. You know, he's lost Cup, he's lost Mostert. The good thing is
that's the problem on the bench, Cup. You know? He's not putting Cup on IR. He's only so he's doubtful. So a lot of places you can't put him anywhere because he's doubtful. So you're sort of stuck with him on the bench.
But there's a story about that, isn't there? They can't put him on IR because they've already got 8 guys on IR or something like that. So they're kind of holding them off just now until. It's something like that, yeah. I believe that was a story that I read anyway or heard somewhere. So Yeah, I
That's
think
just
that's
bloody
why they've
unlucky
not
having
put
all
him on
the players
IR
with
yet,
IR.
because
But
they've nearly got their max allowance, so that's why they're holding them off just now. But yeah, so I mean, it's not a complete. It's not a disaster for Graham at all, and he knows that as well. You know, he's not giving up on this year. No way, no how.
oh,
With
not a chance.
Pacheco out, Kansas are going to need to go to the air. Mahomes will, you know, he's got Zach Moss who'll have better games than that. Williams is going to get a lot of touches now. All the receivers are out. You know, Marvin Harrison's turned up now. Parkinson will get more. The receivers being out. He's got Naj on the bench, Flowers on the bench. Jordan Reed, if Love's back this week, which there is rumours abound that Love is going to be back this week.
Yeah.
He's got Jordan Reed, Jaden Reed there to put in.
Jaden.
So yeah, it's no disaster for Graham at all. He's on 2, but again,
Oh,
it's
God, no.
on 2 means nothing at this stage. But Allen must
It's one
be
of the better
pretty
0-2
happy with
teams,
himself.
so Allen will be loving it. Is that Allen 2-0?
What?
Yeah, number 4 seed.
I mean,
Wales,
that's Burrow kind of showed up a little bit now. You know, he's got Brees Hall there, and you would think that Allen getting those touches would be bad for Hall, but it's not. He's they can coexist, obviously. You know, CD, is that CD
Brian
got
Robinson.
question mark? I can't imagine that's much, but yeah, and Rice is obviously going to is obviously the number one target there now. So he rolled the light in Jamal Williams. You know, it's a great team that Allen's got there, and the start lineup's fantastic, obviously.
Bench is a bit, but the start lineup's good.
Yeah, I mean, even Cooks will have better weeks than that. You know, he's got Cooks and Lamb is a problem. It's how often do you want to start both, especially with Dak throwing nothing. Dak's been paid, doesn't care now. Oh, it couldn't be funnier. But yes, I mean, it's a great start for Allen. 2-0, 109 points. You know, was that top score this week?
Second top score.
No, there was definitely 2 higher than me.
I came up against it. I came up against the top score.
I thought it was Michael again.
We'll not talk about that one.
Again.
Yeah.
But yeah, so 2-0 for Allen.
And also 2-0 the Blue Toon Patriots, 90 points against the Boys of Back-in-Town, 59 points, 0-2. So we'll have a battle of the 2-0s this week. So that's one good thing.
Yeah, that's it. 1-0 has to go. And it's, yeah, I mean, Chris has got a great team there, but Richardson freaks me out to death, and I've got him in quite a few dynasties, and he's just, I don't know, you know, it just doesn't have the accuracy at all. You've got to hope that the more he plays, the better it gets. But outside of that, I mean, his team's flying, isn't it? And
well, he's got Higgins on the bench.
I mean, this game was in the bag early doors. It was never really a contest because, you know, Philly played on Monday night. That's where most of Ross's points came from, you know. So it was pretty much game over from the get-go.
The thing is, Laporte will do better. He's got Bateman, but Higgins will be back soon. Algiers getting some touches now. You got look who's got his reserve for Jonathan Brooks for when he comes healthy for the second half of the season. So yeah, he's looking pretty good. So Blue Toon Patriots.
Higgins is going to be back as well. You know, you got to think that Polk is going to run well, and yeah, I mean Ross. Brad, he's got that Braylon Allen on the bench, so you know that's one that's worth a start because he's obviously going to get some touches. It's you know they're not going to give him that and then just sit him again, you know.
No, you may get
so he'll definitely be involved. So I would be surprised if Ross doesn't put him in this week. But yeah, I mean Douglas will have better games. Tank Dell's a bit worrying, you know.
Yeah. Tank Dell's better for
I wouldn't be giving up on Tank Dell yet. I'm still starting Tank Dell as well. I think he'll have his weeks for sure. You know, Tajay Spears is a problem for him because Pollard seems to be the man and he's running very well. So yeah, I mean it's no getting away from it. It's not a great start for Ross, and there's certainly work to be done. And he's got to hope that these kind of your Mark Andrews, your Chris Olabis are all going to come really good and really good soon. Before it gets away from him, you know.
So banged up, so
Big
I think
week
they'll
for
make it
Ross.
more of the
Ross,
ball.
and he up against Graham this week as well. You know, Graham's 0-2, and that team's not an 0-2 team, so you got to think that it's going to win one sooner rather than later. You know, so yeah, I'd be worried if I was Ross. I can see Ross being 0-3 after the divisional games.
I don't know, not a good
Sorry,
start,
mate.
but then we got the Farts Flying Eagles, also 2-0, number 3 seed, 99.34 against the Cotton Valley Jets. You're 1-1. At least they're 1-1. So
Yeah, I mean, Mark had a big week last week. You know, he scored a lot of points, but you know, and Rogers turned up from a little bit this week. But you know, obviously Elliott didn't so much. And with you get Jalen Waddle there, you got to be worried about his what his production's going to be like now that Tua's out for the foreseeable. You know, Garrett Wilson, I'd be worried if I had Garrett Wilson as well. You know, because it's
not a lot's
you know,
happened.
that's 2 weeks in a row now he's not performed. And how many weeks does it go before you think it's Wilson? You know, especially if Rogers keeps. I mean, he's not been great, but he's not been awful. He's been finding the passes, the one. You know, 17 points, so not awful.
Yeah.
Kelsey
He did
too.
come up
What about
against
Kelsey?
Kyler Murray, Barkley, and Cook, which basically the majority of his points. That's a sore one to come up against. Yeah, Kelsey's a funny. I think Kelsey will come out. It's just they're winning, but they're not. But they're running, but they're passing the ball more. He'll get more of the ball. So
I agree. I think he'll get much more. He's going to have his weeks. He has to come good again. He's not. You can't give up on Kelsey. If you've drafted Kelsey, you can't give up on him because you can't trade him. No one's giving you jack for him right now. So you got. But if you've got him, you've got to start him. But yeah, so I mean, Mark's going to have up and down weeks. I think all the way along here now. You know, he'll get weeks out of Wilson. You know, Waddle will come good when Tua comes back, but Elliott will have his weeks. You know, but they'll be up and down. But you know, Mark's one of these. You know, Mark never goes away. You know, he's always there or thereabouts, and if he sneaks into the playoffs, he's always dangerous to come up against. But yeah, Graham must be really happy. You know, obviously Kyler Murray's shown Kyler Murray things, you know, that he's over the injury and that he's back to his best. So you got to be happy there. Barkley, that's 2 weeks that he's scored double digits. You know, I know it wasn't brilliant, 13, but it's still a good score, you know. I don't think White's injury's awful. You know, Ayuk got to get more production out of him now that Debo is down. So yeah, I'd be very, very happy if I was sitting Graham right now. And you know, again, this was another game that was over before it really began. You know, so Mark never really got going in it. You know, and then most of his points are coming from kind of Bejan on Monday night when it was already over. So yeah, another one that was kind of a non-contest all weekend.
yeah, and then we got the Tartan Bears 1-1 against Raymond and 0-2.
So
previous 87-10 to 59-16.
Still gets off the mark, you know. I mean, Joe's been there or thereabouts the last few years now. He's been right up there, and that's him finally got up. It's only week 2. He's got off the mark this season, you know, now 1-1. But you got to be worried if you're Ray. Could we have a 0 season? I think he's got it enough to win a game, you know. But yeah, Sanders and
He always
Johnson at
seems
running back.
Ray lately always seems to find a way to beat me the last couple of years. So I'm playing him at some point, so that'll be him. Yeah,
That would be the one.
it'll be McCaffrey's first game back. Yeah,
I mean, he's going to need
well,
to put
losing
McCaffrey on Nakua on IR and
Nakua.
getting a running back
One of
because
them.
he's
Yeah,
absolutely depth at running back. And you know, DJ Moore will get will have his weeks, and Kittle will obviously have his weeks. You know, he's got a good D in the 49ers, but both the Purdy will have weeks as well. But yeah, the running back situation is absolutely dire. So
he's got Quentin
worrying times
Johnson.
for
So I wonder
Ray.
if
It's a lot of work to be done, but yeah, it might be time to try and cash it. Well, you can't really cash in on McCaffrey while he's on IR, can you? But yeah, and but for Joe, well, you know, Swift's a wee bit worrying, but outside of that, Montgomery fine, getting touches still, you know, Stroud fine, will do better than he did this week. Adams fine, St. Brown fine, Goddard, you know, Kirk's a wee bit worrying. I'd be looking to get Kirk out, but he's got Coleman there on the bench, he's got Gabe Davis on the bench, very playable players, you know, that will have big weeks. Chandler on the bench who have some weeks as well. So yeah, I mean, Joe's got off the mark now, off and running, and I wouldn't want to be coming up against them at the moment because the team is very strong.
Yeah. Do not imagine about it. You've got the scheme team getting off the mark 94.28 against a 64.96. Eskimo Brothers. I'm not sure what happened to Sean. Because he had a couple of
Josh Allen had a bad game. Sean's
yeah,
team lives and dies by Josh Allen, you know. So
of course,
Josh Allen has a bad game. He's out. Mike Evans didn't do his thing. You know, Dalton Kincaid, because Allen had a bad game. Kincaid has a bad game. Pickens had a bad game, and it all adds up to getting your ass handed to you, really. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and they'll all play well this week because they're playing against me, so that'll be Sozolo.
I mean, the thing is, it's a good team, you know. They just had an off week, you know, and as you know, Hubbard, not really, you know. I'm out on all the Panthers, but outside of that, I wouldn't be changing the lineup. You know, I'd be happy to play the
I
others.
think you should
Andy's got
drop them
Judy on
all.
the bench. He's got Ladidi on the bench as well, you know. So he's got options there to bring in as well. So yeah, it's not. I wouldn't be worried if he's on too. I get, but I wouldn't be overly worried if I was showing. That's just an anomaly, you know, of them not
Well,
doing
looking at my
anything.
team now, I just hope looking at my team now, I hope he just puts them all on the bench and doesn't play anybody. The only chance I've got this
Well,
week. So we got
it's
then scheme
but
team,
yeah, it's
Mark
a,
Jackson came on, James Conner. He's obviously lost Debo.
yeah, he's lost Debo, and I mean, he's got Gibson on the bench, he's got Boyd on the bench, he's got Baker on the bench, but you know, he's very rightly dropped Caleb Williams, and it's maybe time to put Caleb Williams in agency now because he's never going to start over Lamar Jackson this season, and it's week 12, you know, so I'd probably be dumping him now and bringing someone else in for the bench, but he's lost Debo as well, so he's going to have to replace Debo this week.
Right, Jackson's
You
week
know,
14
McBride
for a bye
finally
week.
showed up. Week 14, is it?
Yeah.
Yes. So, you know, he's got
Well,
what
McBride obviously he recovered the fumble in the end zone to get a touchdown, so that's how we got 12 points instead of 6.7.
He did. But I mean, even at that, 6.7 for your tight ends actually not that bad in this format. That's 67 yards, you know.
No.
So it's not
Jig was
an
a good
awful
one.
score for the tight ends in this format. But I mean, he's going to need to get better things from Chris Sutton. But he's got plenty of players there that will score. And at 1-1, off the mark, yeah. I think Allen's should be sitting just fine at the moment, you know, and looking forward to next week and see what happens there.
But he gets the pleasure of playing Levy on next week, so.
Always, we can look forward to week 4 then and see what happens there. So talk us through it, Johnny.
Yeah. Oh,
I mean, it's not an awful score.
Obviously, I didn't help. I just got home from work and found that Ingram was out, so I just grabbed the fucking Cleveland tight end. Thought we'd do something, but Cleveland didn't have to do anything. Losing Pacheco definitely hurts. Stafford just played bloody awful. But they had nobody to throw to when Emin Cup went off. Gibbs had a no bad game.
Andy's goal
Obviously,
line's all
Metcalf had
gone
a
as
good
well,
game.
remember?
So, yeah.
His O-line, Stafford's lost half his O-line as well. So you've got Gino on the bench there that you consider putting him in.
Oh, I think Gino is in for the next week.
You got Gino in, yeah. I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. Until Stafford's got some protection and something to throw to. I mean, see if I was Matt Stafford, I'd walk into Sean McVay's office tomorrow and say, "Listen, Sean, I'm going on IR. I'm not going out there until you can protect me and give me folk to throw to." But yeah, I'd be putting Gino in.
I was a bit annoyed with the app though because I was picking up a defense, and for some reason it gave me 2 defence. I can't remember who I picked up, but it also gave me the Raiders defence and dropped the Chargers. But I didn't pick that. It just did it. And I was like, what the fuck?
Did it?
So, yeah. I was picking up another defence, and then because I put Pacheco and IR. And then while I was doing that, it dropped the Chargers from my defence and put on the Raiders. And I was like, what the fuck?
Because I seen it. I seen
Right,
that you
so-
went. You dropped one, and then you picked them up again. But you went with the Chargers in the end. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I did there, but I'm talking about for this next week coming up. I was picking up a
Oh,
different
right,
defence,
right.
but I was wanting to keep the Chargers. And then for some reason, it also gave me the Raiders and dropped the Chargers when I didn't pick the bloody Raiders
Right, right,
defence.
right.
So it was a bit annoying. But well,
Yeah,
I'll just
that's
see what happens. I'm streaming my defence each week anyway, but I was going to keep the Chargers because they're probably looking quite good over the next couple of weeks. But anyway, obviously up against their usual number one team in the regular season.
yeah. I
Prescott,
mean,
Mixon, Kamara, 42 points of Kamara doesn't bloody help. And
no,
Devonta Smith
absolutely not.
scoring the AJ Brown, and Dobbins, man, yeah.
Do you know what the thing is, though? Do you know what the thing is? And this is the big thing about this game. You must have woke up on on a Friday morning, absolutely cheesing that you were leading the game after it was Tyreek Hill against Shakir, and you were leading after that. You must have been cheesing on Friday morning, thinking, "Yep, I've got this," and then boom,
To be honest,
out
I
comes
hadn't even
out
looked.
comes Kamara with 42 points. You know,
I didn't even look,
I mean, that's
Craig. I
what
didn't
beats
even
you,
look.
John. Did you
Yeah, that
not?
was it. Well, that,
Well,
but yeah. No, honestly, I didn't look until I got home on Sunday and from work and noticed that Ingram was out. And it was a mad rush to find the
oh,
bloody thing, but I didn't know what the score was at that point
the tight
because it's
ends,
been
yeah,
busy all week.
yeah.
So, yeah,
You were leading by 2 points after Thursday night game, and he had Tyreek Hill playing, so that was massive start. But I mean, you lost to Kamara. That's basically the difference. You know,
yeah.
Kamara doesn't have that game. It's it's a much closer game. But sometimes you just run into that, and that's what you got to do. And sometimes you get that and you take advantage of it and you score 125 points. So I mean, it was a great
Yeah,
week for Michael, and Prescott done absolutely nothing. Mixon went off,
I know.
injured on and off. Hill done nothing. So
Everybody else
you
scored, though.
just
That's
ran
the
into one.
difference. I mean,
And the thing is,
yeah,
even if Mixon's out this week, he's got Pollard to put in, and so it's
yeah.
a real strong team that he's got. You got to think Miami are going to be finding Hill the ball a lot, So after you and Bowers, I think Bowers is going to be the tight end one this year. I really do. So I mean, there's no stopping Michael for me. I think he's going to bulldoze through the league, and it would be no surprise if he's the regular season champion once more.
Oh, yeah. Apart from yourself, obviously. So who? Oh, he is the number one seed. So obviously you've got yourself, then Factory of Sadness, then Doug down 5 spots. Varsity Blues, the 14 seed. Kirkwood Raiders up to 4th. Platoon Patriots up to 5, up 2 spots. Hyde and Zeke, but up to 13, even though they lost. Boys are back in town at 15. Sparks Flying Eagles, up to number 3. Couple by the Jets at number 8. Tartan Rails up to number 11. Batman's Boobies sitting at 16, and they could be there for a long time. Le'Veon staying at number 1. Madhouse, me staying at down 4 spots to number 6. Scheme Team up to number 10. And Eskimo Brothers down to 12. But this week it's just looking brutal.
I mean, there's only 5 2-0s, Johnny. 5 2-0s. So there's only one division that's got the 2 2-0s and the 2 0-2s. That's the South. It's so as always. Very very tight. Everything's very very tight, and it's you're always 1 win away from being back in the mire. 1 win away from being clear, and 1 loss away from being right back in the mire again. So it's everything to play for everyone. That includes you, Grote. There's no need to go on a fire sale panic already.
Yeah. Oh well, we've got a battle of defences of me against Sean because he's got the Broncos and because I picked up the Bucks And when I picked up the Bucks,
Oh,
it gave me the fucking Raiders as well.
right,
So
right. Yeah,
I've
I mean, the
got
Bucks. Yeah, I
against
mean,
Denver.
the
Should be
Bucks
right.
look at an absolute solid defense. I mean, they absolutely shut
Yeah.
down Jared Goff last week, didn't they?
Yeah, so they should potentially do that to Bo Nix. But yeah, got Ford in line. I did pick up Henry because I didn't know if Ingram was going to be playing. Wandale's getting a bit of a run out. Because much I want to put Dukes in.
Graham F, he's managed to pick up Kareem Hunt, so that's one for that he's stashing away, you know. Doug's went for Zach Ertz, and I don't blame him, you know, because he's old, but he's in such a good situation. He also picked up Gesicki, so he's given himself some options there. Johnny, you picked up the Raiders defense, do you know that? Sorry.
Well, that's the one I've been telling you about, Craig. That's what I said. I didn't pick it up.
I'm winding you up.
Fucking rage, If that, I can't automatically. I can't just go in and change it. So I've got waivers on to try and get rid of the fucking thing. But
yeah, I'm sure if you go and pick it up, no one will pick up the Chargers defense. You'll be able to go and pick them back up again. But Sean's pulled the trigger on Trevor Lawrence. He's dropped him. He's picked up Sam Darnold. Devontae Foreman's found his way into Kirkwall Raiders. The Vikings D's joined up with Bluetoon Patriots. Perrine's off to the Factory of Sadness. Jake Ferguson's off to Kirkwall Raiders for $100.
Yeah, I didn't even notice he was in free agency. He got dropped on bloody Sunday.
Neither did
So
I.
Alan's
Who
loving
dropped
that
him?
one, by the way. What's that?
I'll bet. Who dropped him?
Was it Graham? Alan told me. I said I didn't even realise he was about. But yeah,
No, neither did I.
Sean's hoping.
I'd have been in
Alan
for Ferguson for sure. Ferguson's back this week, I think. Sean's
so.
also picked up the Factory of the defending champs will spent $111 on Carson Steele. So he'll obviously hoping he's going to be the new man in Kansas. And then Chris went and picked up Blake Grupe and Josh Downs. He's dropping Blake Corum. Blake Corum should be getting touches now. All the receivers are out. Of course, you picked up the Tampa D, and then Doug's went and picked up a couple of tight ends. Graham's picked up Kareem Hunt, Graham F, and Alan P. Scheme team have went to Joanne Jennings with Debo being out, and that's all the league activity this week, Johnny. So I'm sure there'll be quite a few starters coming out for this week's games, you know, and we'll see how it goes, and we'll see. There's 5 teams that can go 3-0. There's only 5, and there's only 5 teams to get off the mark. So we'll see how many are still sitting next week.
Yeah, well, I'll probably.
Let's not forget that
we'll see.
Little Douglas, Little Sean, and Little Stephen will all be sitting on the mantelpiece until after the game's on Monday. And should Doug win, they will all come back off the mantelpiece and go back in their home. But until I lose to one of the North contenders, they will live on my mantelpiece.
I'm sure they're going to love that one. So put a little target on your back there. I don't know who's watching, but yeah, thank you for watching. It can't be Doug because you've been awfully quiet.
Yeah,
because he would be making comments left, right, and centre when as soon as they came up, same as Sean. But thank you for watching, and we'll be back next week at our usual time.
Yeah, we'll post it on the WhatsApp chat when we're done for anyone to peruse and watch.
Yeah, they can come back and watch it. So it's good to see you, Craig, and we'll see you next week. Good luck. Not that you'll need it, but I might. But see you later, bye.
Good luck, everyone.
You're going to have to get them all behind you on the back of the couch next week, or just sitting here waiting
for you.
They're all
up there, Johnny. They're all up on
but
my
you're
shelf
3
there.
while you're playing. Just have them right there behind you.
No, they'll be sitting watching with me. They'll all be sitting watching with me, cheering on because they like sitting on the mantelpiece. You see, they're comfy there.
Okay then. Catch you later, bye. See ya.
Good night, everyone.